All right, recording in progress. Brandon Burley, welcome. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Very good, very good. Not that you need an intro, dude. People who are going to tune into this, they know who you are. But I'll do a super brief one, just based off what you did this year. You got second at PSL Virginia Beach, the
Yep.
biggest, probably the most competitive 105 show, dude. I would say between OSG last year, OSG this year, and PSL this year, probably the three most competitive 105 shows we've ever seen as far as talent pool. What do you think?
In terms of lineup, like I don't think it even is close. Like the amount of dudes that were there at PSL compared to any other show was just crazy. And then the fact that like the show is 10 events long, like you can't slouch on anything. Like you need to be locked in for 2 days, and it's quite a show.
Yeah, it really is. I've been there once. I'm going back this year to watch, and you're going back to win it, hopefully. So,
Yeah.
especially being my teammate. And then you got third, fresh off the press, third at OSG just last month. So we'll talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, great to have you on, dude. So I wanted to talk real quick about how you and I met, right? Because I've been following you for a little while. Obviously, I know who you are, but you joined Nico Chapralis' team, GWO. So now we're teammates. I've been with Nico
Yep.
a couple of years. You've been with him what, 3 or 4 months now? Four maybe?
I think it's closer to like 6 now.
Is
We're
it
in
that
that.
long?
Yeah.
Time flies, huh, man?
Yeah.
Um, so that's how we kind of met virtually, right, in the group
Yeah.
chat. And I wanted to talk about the camaraderie of that, like what it's like being on a team, guys, with killers, because Nico's got some really great heavyweights, right?
Yes, he does.
Doesn't have a lot of great weight class guys yet. There's some coming up the ranks. And when Brandon joined, Nico told him, I was like, dude, I was so hyped to have somebody on the team to like knows what we go through as like 105's 90. I'm a 90, 105 tweener, and just a little bit of different nuance between heavyweight and our weight class. And it's been great to have you in there, pushing me to be the best I can be.
Yeah.
The camaraderie in there is great. So like Brandon will like we'll be sending training videos and stuff, and some different like conditioning workouts. Like what's the one we just did last week that I
Oh,
kind of bailed on?
oh, the what was it? Sydney?
Nancy Cindy goes skiing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he sends this one, and and O'Connor's in there too. Dude, how can I forget Mike O'Connor? He lives right down the street from me. I can love Mike. So you got me, Burley, O'Connor. I hope I'm not forgetting any of the other weight class guys, but how could I forget Mike? So Burley will say like, "Hey guys, I'm doing this conditioning work this week. You guys want to jump in?" And Mike's like, "Oh, I might jump in on that." I jumped in, and I quickly find out that like I thought I was well conditioned. I am not even close to Mr. Burley.
Yeah, it's I mean it's something we gotta have as weight class guys. Like it's not all static strength anymore.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, you definitely bring the conditioning to your shows, like with the bag carries, even like a heavy frame carrying that down and back. You can't breathe and whatnot. But so it's great
Yeah.
having you in the group chat. Any of you guys up and comers, if you can even if you're not on the same team, if you can have a group chat with guys that will push you, it's like having training partners. A lot of us train alone. You train in your garage, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm alone in my garage. Sometimes I'll go down to Des Moines and I'll go train with Jake, but that's kind of few and far between. Like, yeah, I'm mostly about myself.
Yep. So you're doing like weighted carries out in the cold, out in the heat, out in the street,
I
right?
really try to avoid the cold. I am not. I'm
You don't
not
like
into
it.
that.
It's cold out there, Iowa, right? It's got to be cold out there. It's Midwest, right? Central.
Yeah, yeah. It's Iowa. Like most this time of year, it's all ice and snow, and like I'm not doing anything outside. That's not happening.
I don't blame you. Yeah, one guys, or like an example, right? The sandbag steeplechase. Brandon was one of the first guys that I knew to have a sandstone, so he gave me the advice to definitely get the stone. But what did you say about the sandstone compared to like the stone feel when you were telling us about it?
Honestly, it feels like a 24-inch stone. Like it feels like it's 10% heavier than it is. Like it just the girth and like I don't know, getting your arms around it. It was a different feeling. Like I'm glad I got my hands on one beforehand.
Yeah, because you said that very early on in OSG prep, and then I jumped on it. I bought two right away. Cerberus is right up in Nashua, just down the street from me, an hour away. So I bought two of them. A couple of guys, Damon and John Doyle, came and trained with me to get their hands on it. It was definitely different. It's definitely a great advantage, guys, if you can get your hands on the implements or drive somewhere before the show, because a lot of people struggle with that event.
Yeah.
And that was one in the group chat. I think I had, if I remember right, my best time was 34 seconds, and I was thrilled with it, right? I was so hyped. And Brandon's like, dude, that's a great time. That could win, which it would have won. But then Brandon goes ahead and does it with his comp. Was it your comp weight or above comp weight?
I no, it's a little above because when I filled my sandbag, I put 300 pounds of sand in it, and then I realized that it was not going to be remotely tight. So then I just, instead of taking sand out, I just kept packing rubber crumb in. So it ended up being like 330.
Jesus. And so Brandon proceeds like it was either a few hours later or the next day, off program, goes outside on the street, sets up his yoke and his sandbags, and does a above comp weight run in like, dude, was it 29 seconds, 30?
It was like 26 or something. Like it was way faster than I did in the show, which really kind of upset me.
It was insane, especially too, because like on asphalt like that, you're digging your fingers under there, you're scraping everything up. And I remember I watched it and I was like, well, fuck me. Like, dude, like I wanted the smoke. I told Nico, I'm like, dude, put us against each other. Like, give us the same training. I know that my weights are lighter than yours, but like, you know, it's relative, right? And as
Yeah.
long as it's a great mentality you have, because some guys I've trained with guys in the past who are bigger and stronger than me. When I creep up on them in an event or like a bench press, right? They'd be like, yeah, well, dude, you're only doing 275. I did 315. Well, it's like, well, dude, we're not the same. If you don't let
Yeah.
me push you, how are you going
We're
to
not
find
the same.
somebody on your level to push you? You know?
Yeah. When it comes to weight stuff, like if you're doing comp weight and I'm doing comp weight, it doesn't matter that mine's heavier. Like mine needs to be like as fast or faster because like the competition's still going to be there.
Right. And then you need to allow guys to push you, right? Because unless you're training with like Piscari or McKeegan or Hine or whoever, like there's not many guys who can push you in your weight class, you know? That's
Yeah.
one great thing about Instagram, social media, using videos to push each other, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had more people around me that I could go down and train with. Like, I use Jake a lot, like, especially if it's a moving event, like I will go down there and like, we will go down there and push each other because neither one of us wants to lose. So
And that's Jake Hari, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great athlete.
We'll go down there and we'll push each other on everything, even, yeah, just for the sake of it.
Yeah. And that's how far away is he from you? Like over an hour, right?
It's about an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a commitment. That's what it takes for me to get over to Lightning Fitness. And I went over there last year a couple times for the monster log. And lo and behold, the monster log was only the trump that I couldn't hit. So I did it for nothing, but it was nice to get some touches. But yeah, so like in that group chat, we push each other and it really helps you rise to new heights. There was another one, like shouting out the team before we get into the OSG recap. Nico, I don't know if I ever told you this, but he gave you an event. It was a farmer's emo, right? No strap.
Yeah.
And you know, farmers didn't go so great for me at the show, but I don't know what your weight was. But in my notes, in True Coach, he wrote, just an FYI, it was an EMOM. You know, mine was 420 pounds, no straps, EMOM, every minute on the minute, 8 minutes. And if you fail, you have to put your straps on. He said, keep your straps ready. And he said, just so you know, Burley couldn't finish without straps. I don't know what your weight was. So I said to myself, I'm going in and I'm doing it without straps no matter what. And I did. Then he made me go heavier, but it pushed me, dude. Like you pushed me on that one.
I don't remember what the weight was, but it was like a 15-minute EMOM. And then I think I made it to like minute 12 before I'm like, if I do another one, I'm going to tear. So, and he didn't have the strap memo in there. So I'm like, I'm just done. I'm not going to do anymore. I'm not tearing.
Yeah. So you were probably the guinea pig because two things. One, he told me to use the straps if I needed them. And two, mine was only like 8 minutes. He was either 8 or 10. So yeah, he didn't tell me that part. Maybe he was babying me, Nico. I you know, all right, maybe I need that sometimes, but so yeah, the group chat's been great for that, man, along with other people on our team, but they'll come on here and we'll do their own podcast. Let's talk about well, I guess we'll keep with Nico because Nico had a question about OSG, so that'll put us right into the recap. How do you like you've been training? How long have you been training? Like strongman?
Strongman training, I think I started in like 20. I think I started in 2020.
Okay, so like 5 years, plenty of time to like do a bunch of different types of stuff, different modalities, different coaching. How many different coaches have you had, or did you kind of coach yourself a lot?
So I've gone through periods where I've had coaches, and I've gone through periods where I've coached myself. I keep coming back to getting a coach because every time I coach myself, like I make progress for a good long while, and then if something goes wrong, I get in that headspace where like, oh, I went too heavy or I shouldn't have done this. And then like I'm second guessing my coaching. And then I'm also second guessing my training, my recovery and everything like that. And I don't need all that extra stress. So if I have the coach in there, I can just trust the coach to come up with that. And then all I have to do is focus on my training, my nutrition and my recovery. And I don't have to have that extra layer.
Yeah, it's a great point, dude. Cause like you said, sometimes you might go in and go too heavy, or you might be going too light. And both, dare I say, are equally bad. If you're going too heavy, you're frying your CNS. If you're going too light, you're not working hard enough, right?
Yeah, and even if you're not, like even like like even with like my athletes, like sometimes I'll program something and it'll look great on paper and they don't hit it, but they can come to me and be like, hey, I didn't hit this, and then like we can talk through it together and we can work through it together. You don't have that if you're doing your own coaching. Like, it's just another layer to help keep the mental aspect right.
And there's so many. It's crazy. There's so many different ways. And I'll let you answer this, like to coach, right? Because you coach your own athlete. You have some great athletes on your roster. We'll talk about them. But like there's so much. There's so many different ways to. Is a saying? It's the expression. So many different ways to skin a cat, which is kind of a weird
Yeah.
one. But there's a million different ways. But they kind of lead to the same thing. So what I want to ask is how does being with Nico? And I know it's only been 6 months, which is it's not that long of a time, guys. A lot of you guys coach hop, and 6 months with a OSG prep in the middle, it's probably not enough time to truly learn about each other as the coach athlete relationship. But how has being with Nico? How do you see things differently, or like what does he do a little bit different than you've done in the past? And if there's anything that you like about it.
So the pre OSG prep and the OSG prep went kind of exactly like I expected with Nico. The off season has been different so far than I was expecting. I'm going along for the ride, seeing where it takes me, which is, I mean, it's new and it'll help me as the coach. It'll help me as an athlete too. Like the more experiences you have, the better. So, but yeah, I mean, it's been different, but I like it.
Yeah, it's and the thing is with that, like it takes time. Like even I was an amateur athlete, right? Like totally amateur. I did like a USS show, and you second guess things. And then one time Nico had that come to Jesus moment where he said, "Stop going off program, stop going YOLO, follow the program. If you don't have the best show of your life, you can fire me." And ever since I truly started trusting what he does, we just keep getting better and better. Right?
Yeah.
Still not where I want to be. It's funny to say that I've gone to OSG twice now, and like I want to even do more.
Well,
So
yeah,
but yeah, it takes a little time. So you're probably going to give him this. You have a little short off season before you go into PSL prep, right? You have like 3 months here, right?
yeah. We have
And then
a nice good long off season actually, because between the end of OSG and PSL, like it's gonna be like 6 months. So we should have like a 3 or 4 month long off season before we get into actual PSL prep.
yeah, that's a good point because a lot of people say, "Oh, I have a 6 month off season." Like, no, no, no. PSL's in 6 months, and you have let's call it 8 to 12 weeks. So you
Yeah,
really have 3 or 4 months. But yeah, that's a good enough time to he's probably dialing you back like he does with me, working on GPP and some stuff, and like you're not hitting anything heavy. If I had to guess,
yeah. Well, it's a fine balance right now because I know he's worried about me getting bigger, so it's hard to do GPP because I'm already at the top of the 105 weight that I should
yeah.
be. So it's kind of a delicate balance right now.
Dude, we're in the same. It's funny because we're in the same boat because I'm 90 and I weigh 223 today, which is good, but I was 230 last week, like a
Yeah,
little bit of fat. I mean, I've been eating good for the winter, but he said the same exact thing. Got to be careful with too much hypertrophy. We can't put too much lean tissue on. I think looking at you, having met you now, I could probably afford a little bit more lean tissue. I had a nice, easy cut for PSL, finally following Frankie's guidance. Not finally, not messing up the sodium load.
yeah.
So I think a little bit of mass would help me. I just need more strength in the legs, but yeah. So you'll have that little off season, and then you'll have the prep, and then the funny thing is, man, you won't truly know, dude. You've been wildly successful, right? You podium pretty much everything you touch these days. Obviously, you want to be the winner, right? And we're gonna get there, but you don't know until the show, right? And at the show, you go there, you execute, and then there's the execution part, which falls on you and your game plan and stuff. Which I'd like to talk about that at OSG because you're really good with that with your athletes too. But the training and preparation part is on Nico, and then you don't know till the show is over. When the show is over, if you're the champion and it went great, it's like, phew, this fucking GWO shit works, right? So you
Yeah.
kind of have to give your coach a chance. I think too many guys jump coaches too quick, and don't realize the fruit of their labor and what they could get out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think you got to give your coach kind of a long leash to get you where you want to go, and especially like you were saying earlier, you have to really buy in. You can't go off program. You can't sit there and go, well, I don't understand what he's doing. I mean, it's good to ask questions, learn as much as you can, but like you really have to buy into the program.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Because I got to the point I'll ask questions and stuff, and we have such a great relationship, just because he lives near me, so he's come to all my shows. And just like you were doing at OSG, because we're gonna get into that. Like, dude, you were even helping me as my teammate. Like, I'd be talking with you, and you would be strategizing with me. Cooling things down, being cerebral. Nico does it too, but Nico had other athletes there. It was really like a good team atmosphere. And that's what's great with my relationship with Nico is I have more access to him than most people because I can hit him up and say, hey, dude, deadlifts aren't going great. Can I come to your gym? His gym's 45 minutes from me. Can you meet
Yeah.
me there? We'll get a lift in. And at this point, he wouldn't do this for everybody, but he doesn't even charge me anymore. We're like friends, and I appreciate that. And I would pay him if he requested me to. But so it's great to have him right here in my hometown, basically. Let's get into the OSG recap. So we'll start with Nico's question because it's really a day one question. And I'll read you exactly what he wrote to me. He said, ask him about the situation of day one with the water in the log and then with the frame, right? So the situation with the frame, and then what he learned. And if he's put in a situation like that again, what would you maybe do differently, right? And what I want to preface that, so you'll take that. I want to preface that by highlighting something about you as an athlete, something Nico looks for in our team. You've got a champion mindset, dude. Like in the moment, we talked about it. You had to assess. We'll talk about that in a second. But dude, I follow you on Instagram. You made no excuses. You didn't do a recap crying about water in the log. You didn't make any excuses, dude. It's just a champion's mindset. Here's how I did. I'm coming back next year for the title. Like, and I commend you for that. But now we're on a podcast. People want to know. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what happened.
So the way I look at it is, I should have been better prepared. I should have went and got my hands on one of those Bartos logs a lot further than 2 weeks out. If I was just more prepared and stronger, it shouldn't have mattered. That's the way I look at it at the end of the day. Because there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing the other athletes that touch that same log can do about it. So the only thing I can do is to get me better. Mm-hmm. So I need to be better. I need to be stronger. In preps going further, I need to take the time to A, get my hands on the equipment if I can, and B, if I can't, train as in many different environments as I can. I need to start taking my log outside. I need to start moving it on slants. I need to start doing everything I can to mess with me as much as possible during prep to make sure that I'm prepared. That's the only thing I can change. So that's what I focus on.
You also had to deal. You were in lane 4, so you didn't have the benefit that I got, luckily, by being in lane 3 with the jumbotron above me. So you had to look at the high ceiling too, which messed me up last year. Which you can train for by going outside. One thing he didn't allude to it, guys, but what happened was that log might have been stored outside. There was a little bit of water inside of it, and it wasn't a huge problem. Nobody really noticed. I know my friend in my class, Blake Dietis, got a little water on himself, but Brandon, dude, you're so powerful, dude. You violently cleaned it, and like you kind of shook, and there was a little bit of water, just a little bit of water came out of the log, splashed him on the face, and got his shirt wet, and it might have thrown you off a little bit. You didn't even bring it up. I did for you, so the people know. You didn't make it a huge excuse in the moment, but it did happen. And they did let you retake an event. They let you try it again.
Yeah. So Lynn was nice enough to let me redo it, which again comes back down to experience. I should have insisted on it being longer. When he came up, he said, "Hey, you can redo it." Like I was still winded, and so I went out there basically like a minute afterwards, and went out there, tried it again, and it wasn't happening. Like that, I went out there for a full minute and just gave it everything, trying to get that log up, and it wasn't happening. And so I should have gave it longer, got a good 5 minutes, reset and then done it. But, it is what it is. And like, at the end of the day, if I was stronger, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. If you don't mind, I'd like to keep talking about it because I love attacking this stuff cerebrally because you can, by talking about it, I mean, you want to get over it, but you can plan and it might help people right in the moment. Like one question I had, because Blake Dietis wondered if there was a lot of water and it sloshed and caused the weight, because Blake usually can hit that weight. Do you think it wasn't that much water, right? It was just the water distracted you, right?
It was enough that so I'm pretty violent on the clean. It was enough water that I had to sit there every single time and hold it in the rack for a couple of seconds to wait because I could feel it sloshing.
Oh, all right. Yeah, then that would mess you up. That was more than just getting wet and wondering what that was. That would absolutely mess you up.
Yeah. So it was there, but again, it wasn't only me. Like a quarter of the athletes had to deal with it. So
yeah. dude, in hindsight's 2020. Because let me ask a two-part question, I guess, right? I'll start with one. When you did the log, right? So like you go into that log, you know that your log was 340.
Yeah.
And you know that you have a 340 log. I've seen you do it in training for reps.
Yeah.
So, and you know, people have jitters and stuff like that, whatever, adrenaline and stuff. But like, you know, if it's there or not there question type thing. But like knowing, like the plan was to hit it, right? You clean it and then you'd stopped. And if I remember right, you did it again. Like at what point it's tough in that 1 minute moment? When do you make the decision? Shit, it's just not going to happen. I got to go get a rep on the 300 or whatever it was, 310.
So it didn't occur to me because like the goal going in was 5 to 7 reps. So it didn't occur to me
on that log.
Yeah. So it never occurred to me to have a backup plan to go backwards.
Yeah. No, I guess not. Yeah.
So I beat my head on the wall way longer than I should have. And at one point I dropped the log and I looked down and my entire left hand was like rusty water sludge brown. And then I'm like, oh. And then like that's when it finally occurred to me what was happening, and that's when I went back and at least got a couple on the middle log.
Yep.
But like before I went back, I showed my hand to the judge.
Yep.
I'm like, look at this, and then I went my hand and I went back.
I was front row watching you. I remember. It's funny, dude. That event, me and Nico talked about it too. Like, dude, it was taking souls. Like people just and people. It's like they say in like the UFC, right? Everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the face. Yeah. Like they'll grab a heavy log and then it doesn't go and they just keep fighting for it like a warrior. But like if you zero, unless you DJ jog it, you fuck up your whole show.
Yeah, like I had no backup plan. Like I didn't. It never once occurred to me that I was doing anything less than 5 reps. Like, yeah, and of course. You know, at that time, I knew 3 was going to get me the win, so I was actually going to stop at 4. But like it still never once occurred to me that I was never going to not get at least 1.
Yeah. So when that happened in the moment, dude, it had to be a big mental thing. Like in that moment, like what the heck's going on here? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. And that's hard to come back from. We'll talk about that in a minute. Like, yeah, same thing. Like I'm like you, dude, if you have 5 to 7 in training, then you know, dude, I'm walking straight up to that big log. Yeah. A guy like me, I was a fringe middle log guy. I've only hit that weight 3 singles in my life. Me and Nico said, all right, dude, you warm up, look good. Let's go for it. Give it everything you got. But 1 rep, dude. If you don't get it, you go right back to that 265, take a second, and just at least get on the board. Luckily, I got a rep, thankfully. It was funny because when I got my rep, I just started shooting shit with Nick Best because I knew 2 would be best case scenario. So I'm like, dude, it's all gravy, Nick. I said, I got my rep. And it, dude, in my class, the middle log was 3rd place. Me and Damon, one of your guys you coached for the show. 1 rep on that log was 3rd place. And I was in the last heat. So I knew I was over the moon. I'm like, cool, dude. Like the show started. The one event I was worried about zeroing, we're here. We're at OSG. Yeah. So like, what was I saying in that moment? So yeah, the mind fuck of not getting it, reassessing. Yeah. You just got to do what you got to do. You have 1 minute. Oh, that's what I was going to go because Nick Hine brought this up too with his athletes on his podcast, and we talked about it too. What do you do after an event? If you know, because you have to bring it down, get ready for the next event, right? Good or bad. You could have the greatest event, and it's like, okay, I gotta chill. I can't over celebrate and burn out my adrenaline. And if it's a bad event, it's like, all right, I gotta like get over it quick, and I have to go carry this frame now. So how do you do that?
Actually, this advice came from Nick O'Hare at my first OSG. Shout out to Nick.
2023, 22,
whatever year was in Daytona. So 22 maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Yep, Hurricane OSG, right?
So I absolutely bombed the yoke. I think it was the yoke. Yeah, the car wall. Absolutely bombed it. Like I got like 3/4 of the way, like, and everybody else was flying like 8-9 seconds. I got like 3/4 of the way, dropped it, picked it up way too high, and like saw stars, and then like fell down, and like, you know.
I'm smiling, dude, because I had the same experience with the car yoke last year, dude.
So absolutely horrible performance. And like I walked off the stage having my pity party. Nick looked me in the eyes and he's like, you have 60 seconds. You have 60 seconds to feel all the emotions you have to feel. Then after that gets fuck over it, move on to the next event. Mm-hmm. And like I've taken that to heart, and like good event, bad event, whatever it is. Like I feel what I have to feel in that 60 seconds, and then after that it's on to the next event.
Yep, that's all. And then worry about it later, dude. For me, it's weird. I don't think I'm talking about this podcast. I set and maybe this is a loser mentality, not loser, but like, and I know guys like you have helped me with this in the group chat about like, yes, you belong at this level, like start setting higher goals. Cause I set modest goals because then if I exceed them in the show, I'm happy. If I just hit them or come just short, I can get over and get to the next event. The time to worry about that stuff is at night. It's at night when you're out to dinner with your family or doing a recap or something. You don't worry about it during the
after
show.
the show. Like it's completely after the show. You got to get past it. So like what I like to do for my guys is I like to set a range, and like I set, like, say if the realistic is 5, we'll set it like 3 to 5 or 3 to 7, and then that way they can fall in that range of where they did need to be, and they're not going to look back and be like, oh, because if say we set 5 as the goal for like a log, and they hit 3, I don't want them going into the second event going, man, I really underperformed on that first one. I need to do something big here. No. You fell in the range, and move on, and now we're going to do the next thing that we need to do.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. And then if your athletes combine, like if I know you was it nationals? Were you at nationals with Jake?
Yeah.
Right. Because I saw you there talking in the back. It was good to see. I was like, wow, Brandon really is a big dude because I haven't met you yet. But it's great when your coach can be there with you, but sometimes they can't. So you guys got to carry that mantra. You got to really believe in it. I didn't have Nico with me at PSL. I had some friends there, but like I knew the game plan. We talked about it, and I know when I can make adjustments and stay grounded because you gotta perform.
Yeah. Like, so if I can't make it to like a show, like I couldn't make it to ASM for Matt and Kevin this year. So we got on a call beforehand and we talked about all of our targets for every single one, how what strategies we're going to have, what we're going to do if we're ahead, what we're going to do if we're behind, how we're going to handle everything. And then like that entire day, I mean, I obviously watched the live streams on everything, but like, when they came back between events, like had them get on the phone, we talked a little bit more, and we moved on to the next event. Like I try to be as hands-on as I can.
And Matt, if I'm not mistaken, it's Matt McQuiston, right?
Yeah.
Did he get second first?
Yeah, he got second.
He got second. McCarley ended up getting first, right?
Yep.
Again? Yeah, McCarley.
Yeah.
McCarley's
ended
like
up taking it
legend,
on the last event.
What's that?
He ended up taking it on the last event.
Yeah, so he was right there, right where you want to be. And Kevin's a friend of mine. I've met Kevin last year training for OSG. What a great guy. He sadly tore his tricep because he was looking really good too, wasn't he?
He was looking damn good. Like it was going to be one of his best shows, and like, but I think he's going to come back stronger from this. I really do.
Kevin's crazy, man. I've known him like a little over a year now. Like even in New England, he doesn't post much on social media and stuff. So it's like it's crazy how he can fly under the radar. But the dude's like top 10, top 5, everything. Oh, yeah. ASM last year, I was there. He was looking at podium. He was on the podium going into sandbag, and he just messed up the timing. Like I think he did the Shaw, if I remember right, Kevin. If you watch this, correct me if I'm wrong, but like he was right up there at the Shaw. Like dude, he's right there, and it's just one little thing here or there. Like he's gonna come back from this tricep injury, dude, and he's another guy who's just about 40 who could go to Masters if he want. I don't expect him to. He's still got damage to do on the Open. Hopefully, he comes back to Virginia Beach here. If the triceps heal.
We're not ruling out PSL, but we're not really looking at it. It would have to be the perfect circumstances of events for him to come back. We're more shooting for like that Shaw time frame for him to come back.
Yeah, I know. Talking to him, he wants to do shows that are interesting. He's done OSG so many times, and it's the biggest. It sucks you in because it's like sometimes where the best athletes are, right? I say sometimes because now PSL really is attracting the best athletes too.
I think PSL is going to have a better lineup than OSG from here on out.
I think with the circumstance of what happened last year, I'm more than happy to let my guests say anything if they want to like take a stand, right, with prize money and stuff. But when things like that continue to happen, and I love OSG because I'm not looking for prize money. I'm looking to go where there's 400 of the best in the world, where I can get to meet guys like you and be a fan. But guys like you and Kevin, and I could just say a bunch of names. Prize money is maybe a part of it, but not just that. They want to go where the best athletes are. It's a question I was going to ask you later. Like you want to face Emmanuel Piscari, right? You want to face Alex Suckup. And if they're going to be at PSL, it's not like, oh, no, I'll go do OSG if they're not there. You want to be the best to be the best.
Yeah, no, like I talk to all these guys, and like I try to figure out which shows they're going to and try to figure out, like where the talent is going to be at, because I mean, I don't want to go win some show that nobody's at. Like if I want to, if I'm going to win, I want to go against the best, and I want to beat the best at their best. I don't
Yeah.
want anybody to get hurt. I don't want anybody to have, like a bad event. Like I want them at their best, and that when we compete.
Yeah, yeah. You seek out the best because you don't not that there's ever a hollow title, right? If only if a couple of the best guys in the world didn't show up, you can't control who didn't show up,
Yeah.
especially if it's for injury, right? Best ability is availability, but you want to go where the best talent is, regardless of what promotion that is, as long as the promotions are taking care of their athletes and stuff. And that shines through. The athletes are going to pick the best promotions anyways. I'm kind of in that mold a little bit in a different way, dude, where like, dude, I'm 41 years old, just like Sky, who I'm going to talk tomorrow, 45 years old. We could easily just go do Masters. And Masters isn't a graveyard now where strongmen go to die. There's plenty
Yeah.
of great talent. I came in sixth to Damon and Paul Wanzer and John Doyle. I can get plenty of competitive satisfaction going against those guys, but I want to go back to PSL 90 Open,
Yeah.
and I want to rub elbows with Tyler Davis and Victor Liegman, back-to-back OSG champs. So Tyler was a couple years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and even if I come in 12th, 13th, 14th next year, I want to be amongst the best and
But
say that I did it at least,
Well, it's how you get better too. Like you're never going to get better if you don't push yourself with the best in the world. Like that's how you get better, is by pushing yourself to do better.
100%. Dude, it's funny you say that because it's going to be a snippet from my Nick Hine interview. Nick Hine said the same thing, man. And that's, you guys are both champions and you have a champion's mindset. It's a common thread with the people I'm having on right now. And you guys, here we go. PSL qualifiers. You guys, I've been trying to hype up these qualifiers. It's part of what I'm trying to do here with these podcasts. And it's going to be a little bit late, but because the signups are going to be over. But Tyler will let you in late. Just email him. We already talked about it on the Tyler podcast. Do the qualifier, guys. Do the qualifier. See what happens. You make it to the podium. You get to go to the big shows. You get to chit chat with guys like this. If I didn't do PSL and OSG, I might not be close enough with you to even get you to come on my podcast, would I? Right?
Well, even with like the qualifiers, I've been talking to so many people. They're like, "Well, I need one more year." No, you don't. You need another year of experience. Go do it. Go learn. Who cares if you come in fifth? You'll learn more from that than you would from an entire year of training by yourself.
Absolutely
Like,
right.
go do the show. Go learn where your weaknesses actually lie. Go learn how you can compete, because everybody can sit there and look at the score sheet afterwards and go, I can get done on that. Yeah, I could have beat that. But
Right.
could you? Because like OSG, so many people looked at that steeplechase and were like, oh, I wonder why nobody's finishing, blah, blah, blah. What's the deadlift? We did the deadlift right before the steeplechase. Everybody's back was burnt. Like it's how you handle the third event after the second, and how you handle the last event after,
Mm-hmm.
the entire day of being beat up. Like,
Yeah. I think some guys on that one are victims of their own strength because, like, when you do 4 deadlifts up to 800 pounds, you're going to be a little tired. I failed at 700, so I only did 2 heavy pulls. I felt great on the steeplechase, but I didn't do good on the deadlift.
I actually changed my game plan. Like I talked to Nico about this like 2 weeks out. Like I did the deadlift full run, and then I did a steeplechase full run comp weight. And I'm like, my back's smoked. Like I think I'm gonna jump in the suit. So like 2 weeks out, I put on the suit for the first time and started training that.
Yeah.
And I used the suit in the show, not because I needed it to get the last weight. I wanted to save my back for the steeplechase.
Yeah, right. No, that's a good point. And there's trade-offs with the suit, right? Because it might slow you down. You might get a slower time. But if you say I say this to guys, right? Because I fall into this trap, and I'm getting better about it. I don't have a great deadlift. So if I see somebody in my class who can pull 740 to 760, whatever, I'm like, oh, that guy's going to beat me. Well, does he have a well-rounded overhead? Can he hit reps like I can? Is he going to be able to destroy the steeplechase like I can? Because every event, even a sandbag toss that some people hate, it's worth the same amount of points as a deadlift. Yes, deadlift is cooler, but it's all the same points. So you got to pick your poison and get maximum points because it is a scoring strategy.
Yeah, and I see a lot. I see a lot of people fall into this trap too. They're not training events in order, so
Yeah.
all of them are like, oh yeah, I can smoke that steeplechase. Okay, but did you do deadlift right beforehand? Like it's not the same event anymore.
Yeah.
Like it goes from like a glute and hamstring heavy event to like a lot of back, and like you don't have the back
Yep.
anymore.
I fall into the trap personally. Some people I like to scope out the competition to an extent. Never stops me from signing up, right? It's just game planning and what are my contemporaries doing? Where do I have to push? And I sometimes I wonder, right? The best in the world, the top guys are in the top 10, they're bringing it and everything. But I'm like, is is that guy like, is he just posting highlight reels? Does he do deadlifts one day, then steeplechase 3 days later when he's fresh? Because like I make it a point sometimes in my stories, I'll post a Saturday, a strongman Saturday for Miko. And it's like, oh, here's today's training. I did this, and this. And it's like, holy shit, that's a week worth
Yeah.
of fatigue. But when I get to the show, I'm not statically strong, but I'm one of the most conditioned, at least in the 90 kgs, I think.
So going into PSL last year, um, I did. I had two events that were on their own because my squat is terrible, so that was on its own day, and I was really shooting for that axle record, so that was on its own day. The other 8 events were divided up in order between Saturday and Sunday in that prep going through. So I was doing basically a mini show every weekend of prep. And when it came down to the show, like day 2 or day 1 was kind of for me, but day 2, like I was getting better every event, and everybody else is like, man, I'm really feeling this, I'm really feeling that. And I'm like, well, I've been training 3 or 4 sets of everything and then moving on.
Yeah.
And now I'm only doing 1. So like I feel great. Like
yeah. So in prep, you probably feel beat to shit sometimes, right?
yeah.
And you get that taper, dude. And if you're not coming in with injury, you're gonna kill it. And you really are prepared to execute. And after every event, you need a few minutes, and you're like, all right, I'm ready to go for the next one. You know what I mean? And some people don't do that. I've seen it, and a lot of people will question that type of training, like, oh, dude, you really like over fatiguing yourself. It's like yes, and then also in prep, I might not be hitting numbers or speeds as fast as some other guys because I'm so fatigued. But I'm you put in so much volume, and then once the show comes and I'm rested, it's like, holy shit, where did Dane come from? Like, how did he do that? Like, I got second in the steeplechase, and I was one of the smaller guys,
And and that goes back to like trying to convince people that they don't need another year, sign up for the qualifiers now, because you need to learn how these shows are run. You need to experience that, because the way you train will adapt too. Because like if you're used to taking lots of small jumps to work your log up and log second event, you're not going to have that. You're going to have like a 5-minute warm up window. Like you're going to take like 3 tops warm up attempts before you go out there. Like when we did that yoke to log run, like I think I picked the yoke twice, and I picked the yoke once, and then I ran with it once, and I did like 1 warm up set on the log, and like that was all we had time for. And so I think it messes a lot of people up because they have like these long warm up routines that they're not used to it. So get into these shows now, get into the qualifiers now, and see how it's run, so you can adapt your training when you're in prep to be according.
I learned that a little bit at my first PSL qualifier from Eric Olmstead. I do like a lot of volume, especially on event 1. If it's overhead, I got old shoulders and joints. I like to get a lot of blood flow, and you have time for that. I'm warming up sometimes during rules meetings, but it's just body work, right? Blood flow. I'm not pressing a 250-pound log 40 minutes before the event.
In event 1, you can do that.
Yep. And then I'm standing there at PSL 105, and I'm looking at Eric Olmstead, who's one of the best movers at 105. DJ Doggett probably just took you over, Eric, right? But Eric is a gifted frame and yoke guy, and he's just like, 1 or 2 picks. He's like, no, man, we're warm. He's like, dude, we're warm, and we're going to be going in 10 minutes. And I do need a little bit of like CNS warm up, because like these weights are heavy for me. For Olmstead, an 800-pound yoke isn't heavy. For me, it is. So I need a little bit, but I've learned to spend a little less time at the shows and staying calm and not blowing your nut in the warm-ups.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you start to learn like what needs warm-ups, what doesn't. Like, like PSL last year, I think Stones is after deadlift. And like, I saw people out there warming up. I'm like, what are you warming up for? We just deadlifted. Like that is your warm up. Like,
yep.
Just go. We'll get some tacky and we'll go. Like,
yep. Yeah, I might like to feel the stone, get a little tacky on, feel it for like 1 rep, but that not much more than that, dude. You don't need much more. All right, let's we go off the rails. This is what I love about the way I'm trying to frame these conversations, dude. I hope people enjoy this, because I talk a lot. But it's not necessarily that I'm trying to do interviews. I'm trying to talk to other. Well, look at that, dude. I just was going to say other high-level athletes, meaning I'm a high-level athlete. So look at how you changed my mindset. I like to
Got to
talk.
get there first.
I want to talk to high level athletes. I want to talk to all athletes, but I want to have just a conversation. And if I end up rambling, it's fine. If you end up rambling, but we didn't finish answering Nico's question. So the frame. Let's get to the frame.
Okay.
If you want to talk about it real quick, and then how you moved on, which we already talked about how you moved on from stuff, but
So the frame again, I think it goes back to my preparation. So if it was anything else other than OSG, I probably would have pulled out of the show. Like my my work schedule prior to OSG is just it's crazy. It's harvest, like you work long days, 7 days a week, and like it starts when it starts and it's over when it's over. So like it's 6 or 7 long hour days a week for 6 or 7, 8 weeks, whatever it turned out to be. And like I only had like 2 weeks after harvest was over before OSG, so I didn't get a whole real good prep going. And so like a lot of it came down to me having to choose between sleep and training. And obviously I still got like my training in, but I didn't get my training in as well as I should have.
so did OSG because OSG is usually early December, that you probably would have liked it to be a little bit, so
Yeah,
you had a little another week or two, right?
if it would have been 3 weeks later, it would have been a lot better. Like I could have got my because I came in terrible shape. Like I lost all my cardio. Like it was not a good show for me. But like when it comes in on the frame, I didn't do the same kind of training that I normally would have. I didn't get as many runs in. I really cut the warm ups down. And so I don't think my hands got conditioned like they should have, because it was like, okay, I can do this or this because I've got 45 minutes to train today, and I can take 40 of it to bring the frame outside, get my my runs done, or I can do a couple of picks and call it good and move on and train something else. So I didn't get my hands never got conditioned, so I got down in a good time, turned around and got a quarter of the way back, and my hand just ripped. And despite my many attempts, nothing helped get it back up after your hand's full of blood.
You were trying things that probably aren't even legal. The guy was taking his shirt, was trying to grab
Yeah,
it with his shirt, took his belt off, tried to grab it with his belt, or an
I thought of
object.
that afterwards. I'm like, that's probably, even if I would have got it, they probably would have taken it away from me for using my belt.
So yeah, that cost you. And again, for me going into frame, I knew it was going to be a bad event. I didn't think it would be as bad as it was, but for you, you're probably thinking it's a good event. So now you got 2 events that you're good at, because dude, you're very good at everything, right? We can call a spade a spade. So you knew day two, was day two kind of like, all right, I got to go for broke. Like I'm going full send.
I knew I was not beating DJ like that. Let's be real here. I knew I was not beating DJ, but I thought top 3 on the frame was really reasonable. And then so going into day 2, like the mental shift of like, oh hey, I had physically the worst day I could have had on day 1. Like that was tough. But again, I knew day 2 events were good. Like my deadlift is pretty good, and like that steeplechase went well all of training. And so like it was tough to get in that good headspace, but like I still try not to let day 1 get me beat down real bad.
I remember you said like circumstantially, like if you told me before the show started I would get third, I'd be upset. But knowing how it went, you were very happy, right? Coming back from
I was happy for about 24 hours, and now I'm upset again.
yeah. Well, let me ask you this, and let me preface this again. I always like to preface things because sometimes people will read comments on Instagram and people can't read the greatest, right? Some strongmen are very smart, some of us are not that strong, and sometimes you say things that people will take it the wrong way. So I'm going to preface this question. You can't take nothing away from the champ and from DJ Doggett, right?
Oh,
They
absolutely.
are 1 and 2. They came and executed. DJ had to battle back too. Had day 1 gone even a little bit closer to plan for you, was there a points pathway for you to being world's strongest man right now, or would you
I
a
didn't.
little bit outdone?
I never went back and like, oh, if I would have won this, this is how many points I would have had. I never finished like. Cause, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
So you're just on to the next.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and again, like at the end of the day, I didn't perform, so like it's nothing. It's nothing the other guys did. Like if I would have been stronger, I could have just did the loss. If I would have taken the time to train the frame correctly, I probably wouldn't have tore. So like again, that's on me. Like that's the way I look at it. So like nothing going back and counting points of shoulda, coulda, woulda doesn't matter.
And dude, I mean, at some point, I mean, dude, you just got to accept your fate. You're it's the sport, as what people call it, a hobby. It's funny, Nick Hine, I say this too. Nick Hine says, people call it a career. It's not a career, right? But we can call it our strongman careers, but it's not. We don't get paid to do this. So, dude, the harvest comes first. Feeding your family comes first.
Yeah.
And if the timing of the show just doesn't work out, at least you were rewarded. You showed up still, and don't make excuses. And someday there will be that perfect show, dude. Virginia Beach. Hopefully, you're not in harvest, and you bring the absolute best version of Burley, and we see what happens. And then guess what that does? Like, say you come in and we get say Pascari comes to PSL and Sukup comes back, and say Hine comes back from his LCL, and all these guys, say McKeegan comes back over, and say you win that, man, what kind of a showdown does that show bring for the next OSG? Like, it's just awesome. Yeah. The class, especially with because Sukup won everything, Sukup, right? Dude won everything, had a great run, but like people are right there, and it's great to see different champions because then it just brings more excitement to every one of these shows when you guys all show up.
Yeah, I've been talking to Alex, I've been following Alex, trying, hoping that he's going to be 100% when it comes down to time for PSL. And like looking at a lot of his videos, he looks like he's close now. So the dude might have
like Deadpool or Wolverine's genetics from the comics, because dude, he's coming back fast.
Yeah, I mean, I think it posted yesterday like a 315 for 6 incline press with an axle. I mean, after a pec tear, that's good.
We can do a shout out right now, Alec. If you see this, hit up my man Evan Singleton. Evan Singleton tore his pec. Our teammate GWO. Yeah. Whatever protocols you're running to be like a superhero, super soldier here, we got to get Evan on that so Evan can come back and defend his Shaw title. Maybe even get back as early as enough for WSM. Let's hope. Shout out to our teammate Evan Singleton. All right, Brandon. So, anything else you'd like to say about OSG? How did you and I talked a lot there. I loved the format. I've only done it 2 years, but dude, you do your 2 events. And then for me, I got to watch the 90s, the 105s, the classes that I'm a big fan of. How do you like the new format?
I don't know. I like the fact that I could go in and just do mine and be done and not be there all day. But I also didn't like the fact that I really couldn't, unless I wanted to be there all day, I couldn't sit there and cheer for the other people that I'm friends with, that I'm fans of. So I didn't like that. And I don't know, I don't have a good answer. I almost think if you're going to look at it from a fan point of view, you need to break it down into 6 shows, and Friday have, a 6 of the weight classes, however you want to divide it up, do their first 1 through 6 events, and they do their entire show Friday. Friday
I would love that. I would love doing all 6 right in a row.
And then in the afternoon, you do another show with a different 6th of the group of athletes, and they do their entire show. And then you do that Saturday and you do that Sunday. So in the whole weekend, all 14 weight classes go, and they do all of their events, 1 through 6 in just a 2-3 hour block.
Yeah.
And I think that would increase ticket sales, because who wants to go and pay $100 to watch the same event for 6 hours?
It's funny you say that, because Tyler Davis mentioned that. It's one of the reasons he likes PSL, because, and I get repetitive here, but I want to tell you about it. Tyler was like, when you're doing OSG, it's like, or any of the other big shows, oh, hey, mom, I might be on at this time, but then I might not be on again for 4 hours. I'll let you know, but you're also trying to train. PSL, it's like, yeah, I go on at 1:30, free YouTube. Here's the link. We'll be done by 4:30,
But also think about it from a live perspective. They were wondering why the college kids didn't come. But, if you're going to say if you're a college kid and you come Friday, all you saw, if you stayed there for 12 hours, all you saw was 2 events.
Yeah, gets repetitive.
And especially if you don't have anybody that you like, that one specific person you're following, it doesn't matter that the weight classes changed. You saw them reset the circus dumbbells, and they did the circus dumbbells again.
Yeah.
it's not that exciting. But if you broke it down into like a 3 hour block where you did all 6 events, you could have people stay there and watch, and they get to watch an entire show.
Right. And then maybe they want to stay. I want to watch that again. I want to watch another
Yeah.
class, maybe.
Well, yeah, especially if like you did it where like let's be honest, the open men and the open women are going to be the bigger draws because they're going to do the heavier weight.
Of course.
So like if you do them like Saturday night, you might get somebody that comes back Sunday because like, oh hey, that was awesome. Like I want to see that again. Or you might get somebody that comes there early on Saturday and they'll watch, the different group or different grouping of weight classes and then stay for the opens. But it's just not exciting to watch the frame for 6 hours.
No, you make a great point. I think, and there may be some changes coming with the way that Lynn sent that email to all the podium people, which has been shared. So I saw it. The model of doing it in a big arena, I love it being an athlete. It's a cool feeling. I was just at a Celtics game last night, and I'm like, babe, I was the guy on the floor the other day, But the one problem, because there's a tit for tat on everything, is the logistics, right? Because now if you do a 6-event show, your event organizers, they have to move all the implements, you have to set up the dumbbell 6 different times, or however many different weight classes, So it's a lot more setup. Unfortunately, what maybe would come of that, because especially if they put it in like maybe a big hotel conference center like the USS does or whatever, that's a little bit cheaper of a venue. The show might become what it's not. What's the great thing about OSG is it feels like a world championship, at least in there. And on the live stream, it looks great. It's very visually appealing. So like, unfortunately, what I'm trying to get at is to do it that way. If they can't figure it out logistically with the timing, you might have to break it down and have a women's OSG weekend and a men's OSG weekend, and then it's not as much of like it's not a festival, but you know what I'm getting at, right?
But even if you just did it where like, I mean, I just you had 4 different weight classes go Friday morning. You do it in a smaller venue, and then you could have 4 different weight classes go Friday night.
Yeah.
And yes, they have to reset the events a bunch of times, but if you do it in a smaller venue, like Strongman Corp Nationals probably didn't have more people watching than OSG did in person, but it was a smaller venue and it was all the seats were packed. So it felt bigger.
Yeah, it feels like it.
You're not looking up into an empty stand.
Yeah. And another aspect of that is like, it's a very expensive sport, right? I can't imagine the people coming over from Australia or Europe or Africa, right? If you have a 1-day show, you weigh in, you do the show, you're out in 2 days instead of it being 5 or 6 days of vacation time and hotel stays and all that. So you might, not that you would get more athletes because people come out of the woodwork, but at least it would save some money for the athletes. It's one thing, and I with these podcasts, I don't want to make any org look bad to make another look good. But it's one of the things I like to talk about with fellow guys who have done both, or because I haven't done like SC Nationals yet. I intend to do it someday. And the Arnold just hasn't been on my calendar yet, unfortunately. But like one of the things that everybody loves about PSL is the single weight class show. You want to talk about that? Like, 15, 20, 30, the best guys. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like the one of the things I love most about PSL is like, I love the 10 event format. I realize ours is the only weight class that does that, but to me, the more events it's just better. Like there's not I think it helps weed out specialists. Like I'm not winning individual events. Like there's going to be somebody that moves faster than me. There's going to be somebody that deadlifts more than me. There's going to be somebody that presses. But if you have like a 6-event show and 2 of them are presses, that's a huge advantage to a press specialist.
Mm-hmm.
But if you run a 10-event show, you have a better chance of the best, strongest, most well-rounded strongman coming out with that trophy.
Dude, did you and Nick Hine rehearse that? Because you said the same damn thing.
No, I did not.
It's basically a common thread for the guys doing Virginia. Man, I tell you, 6 events is cool at my show, and you have to earn your way to the 6th. I think just like you have to earn your way to the 10th, right? You have to be top 10 to get in the gauntlet. But I would love a 10-event 2-day show for 90s. I wish they were all 10 events, dude. Like it's incredible.
Well, like I I don't pay attention. Like I pick my show based on the show I want to go to, but I know a lot of people will sit there and they'll wait until the events come out and be like, are those good for them?
Oh
And
yeah.
then decide whether or not they're going to go to the show. And I think the more events you have, like you, the less you're going to have that because it's going to wash out. Like you can have a stupid event that nobody likes and should never be in the show again, like squats. Uh,
Controversy. Oh, just wait, bro. Just wait. We got some questions coming up.
I'm just messing with you, Tyler. Uh, but no, you can have an event like that where you just completely bomb out and still have a path to come back.
Yeah. Yep. It's funny you say that because like I'll look at events. Um, a show like PSL and OSG, those are like the bucket list shows you want to call them, right? Now I've gone more than once, so it's not a bucket list anymore. It's the show. I'm going to those shows regardless of events. Now, PSL is different. I'm locked in for PSL no matter what because my number one training partner and best friend in the sport is going to make it back, and we're going to rematch there. So I have that support system. Well, OSG, I would maybe look at it and say, oh, geez, I've already done it twice. It's a big investment. Maybe I'll put a little more chips into like an Arnold bucket, right? Because if travel budget and vacation and support from the wife
Yeah.
is waning, right? Because you can't. It's tough to do all of them, especially I'm going to be volunteering at some of the shows. But I don't select shows based on events. The only caveat for that for me now, and you can tell me if maybe this is a loser attitude, like I only have so many really good peaks and so many good weight cuts a year. I want to bring my best to this show.
Yeah.
Dude, I love the idea of there might be a Pro-Am SC show in the summer. It's in the works, not official, so I can't say anything. I love the idea of trying to shoot my shot and get a pro card because there's opportunity that comes with that, like the Arnold qual. But I might look at a show like that and say, wait a minute, if it's a month or two before PSL, I got to talk to my coaches, my diet coach, Frankie and Nico. Can I make the cut? It's two cuts. Am I going to bring my best? And so I might look at events and go, hey, they're bad events for me. Maybe it's not worth the water cut, right? Because I am 41 and don't want to tax my kidneys.
So if it was me, if I was your coach, I would say no. PSL is more important. If you were going to do the program and you didn't have to cut, we could then talk about it, especially if the events line up. But if you have to peak, cut, and then turn around, recover from that, peak and cut again in 2 months, I don't know. Like,
it's a lot, dude.
That's where it happens. That's where your priorities lie. And I see a lot of people leave stuff on the table because they do too many shows.
Oh yeah, it happened. It happened at my PSL show. A couple of my homies, one I'm interviewing tomorrow, they did SC Nats, I think 3 weeks before, and it's like that's great, but that's a water cut, travel, and are you going to bring your best? And maybe they would have beaten me, right? We'll talk to them about that. For me, not to make the podcast about me, but I like to get people's perspective, especially around my team. Like PSL is the show for me, right? That's 90 kg open. I did great. I think I'm probably going to do worse this year because I think there's just going to be even more talent, right? And I'm not sneaking up on nobody. But I think I'll be stronger and better with Nico and guys like you on the team pushing me. But that's the show, right? And then I can kind of, and I said side quest to Tyler on the pod. It's disrespectful. When I say side quest, it's not, oh yeah, I'm going to side quest and go win a PSL show. It's side quest where this is the top goal open. And then 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later might be PSL Masters. Hey, let's go. I'm not cutting. I can eat a little bit more food. Let's see what I can do. You know what I mean? And then OSG.
Yeah, and those are the ones that are I think are okay. Like for me, my big show in 26 is going to be PSL. OSG is going to be very date dependent. If he does it again in November, I don't think I'm going to even attempt it again. Like that was just I was out of shape. Like I didn't get a good prep in. Like there nothing went right for that. And
Lynn, there you go. Mid December, Lynn. You give guys enough time to get that harvest, but you also give people a couple weeks so they can actually enjoy a Thanksgiving dinner. Unlike last year where I couldn't eat Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. So like, I think if it's early again, like I think that's not going to happen. Like PSL, I'm going to plan my calendar around. I told Tyler I might side quest into the 125 PSL. Just I think that one's going to be event dependent on me. Like I don't want to go do a heavier show with events that are going to like extremely beat me up.
Yeah.
And then, make like a OSG prep harder afterwards. But
It's a challenge. And so again, side quest, you don't mean it disrespectfully, like, hey, I'm going to go win the show just like Nick Hine did. It's a side challenge where you can push yourself. You don't have to cut and lift heavier weights, something Nick talked about as well, pushing yourself to find new heights with weights that scare you kind of thing.
Heavier weight and not have the expectation. Like,
exactly.
Like I went into OSG expecting that I was going to win, and like I didn't, and like that brought me down mentally. Like, if you did something like a PSL 125, if I did well, great. If I don't, okay, like that's fine too. Like I went and did what I could do, and then expose my weaknesses and work on those.
Yeah, it's weird, dude, because like that was OSG for me, and like to say OSG is like because I went up a weight class, and I don't want to make excuses at all of like I'm a smaller guy, but like if OSG had a 90 kg masters, I would have been doing 90 kg masters. You know what I mean? I was happy with how I performed in all things considered, with how I got sick and all that. But at the same time, I was like, I was just having fun. I'm like, this is a fun side quest at a world championship that's very expensive. But then also, I'm like, man, like sixth place. Like people are like, congratulations, it's amazing. And I'm like, I really would have liked to have been third or fourth.
Well, but now you go back and you evaluate, you look and see what you did right and you see what you did wrong, and then like that's where you work. You sit down with Nico and you work on it. And be like, these are my weaknesses. I want to address these on this offseason. Like, this is what we need to do.
Oh, bro, before I think you were right there. We had the group hug, and before I even left the competition floor, I gave him my off-season plan. It was squats. I said, dude, let's stop doing deadlifts before squats. I don't know if he does that to you too. It's deadlifts and then squats. I'm 41 years old. Back to ride. What's that? Squats are first for you?
Squats are first, yeah.
So for me, I said off-season, let's keep the deadlifts in so they're not, but we'll be doing deadlifts at the end of the workout, 10 reps, 3 sets. It's brutal. But I've been making gains already on squats because it's the first thing. I go in, I do my warm-up, and the first primary mover is squats, right? Because I need, my assessment is I need more legs for things like frame carry. It'll help on yoke. I want it for push press. I think squats will help my deadlift. And then do push press. Maybe I can get my push press in the 325 range, which I think I'm chipping away at really great strength for masters and 90, which I need.
Yeah, I mean, you start hammering like front squats real hard, and like that push press is going to go up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, because like you cut a decent amount of weight for 105. Like you could be a wildly successful 125. There's not as much opportunity yet. I think the Arnold or Nationals has a class. PSL does now. There's nothing at OSG. If you were in my shoes, right? Because I've talked to like Michael Kahn about this, Nico, my nutritioning coach Frankie. Like I have some high level masters opportunities where I can satisfy that itch, but I'm invited back to PSL, and I'm doing it no matter what anybody says. But like, where's that line where it's like, dude, you've met me now. You see my frame next to yours. When do I say I got to let the 90 kg go and fuel my body and try and get stronger and be a 105?
I think when the weight cuts start getting challenging, that's when you need to start dabbling in like lower ranking, heavier weight class shows, and then just see how you do. Push yourself that way, and so say like you could go do like a strongman corp or like a USS nationals at like a 105 and push yourself that way, and then still cut to the 90s for the international level show. And then so you kind of get the best of the both worlds. You're getting more competition experience, you're getting the challenge, and you're getting the push, but you're only cutting for the really high level show.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm doing again this year. I did it last year and this year with PSL, cutting for PSL, and I'm doing OSG. And this year, like I said, maybe I do the SC Nats because I'm qualified and try and get a pathway to the Arnold. I have no interest in cutting weight for a Masters show unless it's the Arnold, right? Because that's a 90 kg world championship, right? So there's, part of me would like to try to at least achieve a world title. But like if I wanted to get an Arnold berth and I'm not going to do that pro-am, I would either do it at Masters Nats, which coincides with PSL, so that's a tough decision because it coincides with, it's always at the September range. So it's tough. Yeah. There's just too many good competitions in that time of year. Or what I would do, dude, is just like locally, I'm not going to compete 90 locally ever. I would do a regional, but I would do a 105 Masters regional and try and qualify for 90 that way,
Or hear me out, just podium at OSG, and then you're already invited.
Dude, that's a thing, man. Like, yeah, and PSL, I got it hot off the presses from Tyler. PSL is in August this year, so if it's August, and then OSG is December, let's say, if it works out for both of us that way, that's a good amount of time for me to
Yeah.
say, okay, I might be done with 90 now. Let's really put on the lean tissue and bring my best to OSG. Because
Yeah.
yeah, it's even like I loved being there. Like Damon's one of your guys. He's one of my best training partners and best friends in the sport. Hey, dude, we've gone against each other 3 times now, 15 events, maybe a little bit more. And I'm slowly catching him. I've won a couple events because our first 10 events, he was 9-1 against me. But these
Okay.
last couple of shows, I've chipped away. So and he dusted me at OSG this year, rightfully so. But I did beat him in 2 events and we tied on log. He just had deadlift and frame was so bad for me that he got way more points. And he was the
But,
only guy to finish the stones.
but that's what you see. You see where you need to improve, and you keep
Yep.
chipping away at it, and then you just get a little better every show.
Yep. No, so I like it, dude. You're and I appreciate having you in the chat, dude, because you always hit me with like the hey, maybe you could just go faster. Maybe no, maybe you just go podium OST. So I appreciate that, dude. We're at a little over an hour. I try not to make these all 2 hours, but that's how it seems to go. So OSG recap's done. Talked a lot about mindset and stuff. What are you looking forward to? And we got a couple questions that I got quickly in the last 90 minutes here that I'll do. Virginia Beach is next. What are you looking forward to, man? Are you excited for it?
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I've got a couple of guys on the team that are going to compete, and so getting to compete against the best in the world like always gets me going, but getting to compete against the guys that I coach, like the amount of shit talking I can do, like
So let me
that.
let me let me pause you for 1 second because Sky, who I'm interviewing tomorrow, he's
Yeah.
one of your guys. He's doing the Midwest qualifier. I'm interviewing him tomorrow. He asked, "What is it like to coach athletes that he's going to compete against?" And you were already
Um,
talking about
honestly, like I love it because I want to push them to be the best version they can be, and then that makes me work even harder to be better than them. Like in our group chat, we constantly will compare cardio, and we will throw out time, and like it's all about trying to beat each other. And so like I think it drives a really competitive atmosphere that's pushing everybody up. And that's what I want.
it. Yeah,
So
hell
I
yeah.
want
And
them to be better so I can be better.
dude, and I want in on that. I know I've been lazy. I've been dealing with my post-show blues, but that Cindy goes skiing. That's the one I'm going to use that one again because I gave up after 3 rounds. This man did 13 rounds. It's 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats, and
Yeah.
a 20 cal ski erg.
Ski. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a round, and you have to do as many rounds as you can within 20 minutes. And this man did 13. I gave up after 3. I had a sick quad pump, and I'm like, I'm not ready for this.
Dude, that you hadn't even got to the fun part yet. Like, yeah, I think it was like round 8 or 9. Like my lats were on fire from the ski, and then you turn around and you go right into the pull-ups.
Yeah,
You're like, oh my god.
for me, it
Like
might
it,
have been. And again, I only did 3, maybe 4 rounds. I was using it as a warm up, and I'm like, all right, wait a minute. Like you get that feeling where you do too much cardio, and you're like, whoa, I like am feeling weird, and it messed up my workout. So I don't Nico earmuffs. But for me, I don't have a ski erg at that gym, so I did the row machine. So maybe that's why I got more of a quad pump.
oh well, yeah, and they're supposed to be the same, like you know, distance and calorie wise, they're supposed to be pretty close. It's gonna depend on like where your strengths and weaknesses lie. Like I'm faster on the ski than I am on the row,
Yep.
but then there's other people that are gonna be the other way around.
Yeah,
And
I suck at ski.
yeah, I don't know. I like the skier.
Dude, all right, so let me ask you a question, and this will highlight your coaching, which we'll talk about too. Um, so I'm going to keep doing that, but I probably shouldn't go into the gym once a week and just do an AMRAP. So I think maybe what I'll do is I'll use it as like a conditioning day, but I'll just tell myself, all right, hey, I'm going to do 10 rounds. Like no matter what, I'm doing 10 rounds, even if it takes me 45 minutes, and slowly work back up for a month or two, and then try and do the 20-minute Metcon. What do you think?
So what I really like to push for my guys is I push conditioning quite a bit. So on every strength day, there is like an 8 to 12 minute, no more than 15 minutes, some sort of cardio, and they're usually some form of like you're going to move really, really fast. And then you've got like equal time to bring it back down. So like one I like to do is like a assault bike EMOM. So we'll do like 12 minutes, 12 calories. And so you have to go at the beginning of the minute, you have to go all out, get 12 calories on there. And then let's say that takes you 25 seconds. You have 35 seconds to bring your breathing back down to baseline before you have to go again. And because I like that kind of cardio for strongmen, because we almost never go for 90 seconds or 2 minutes or anything like that. Like most of our stuff is, a max 60 seconds, but it's really a hard 30, and you're only using that other 30 if like you're having trouble. So like that's what I want us to be able to go all out for 30 and then have enough control over our body to be able to bring our breathing back down to be able to do it again.
Makes sense, dude. And funny, Nico actually will do stuff like that to me in the off season. He'll give me like the assault bike EMOMs or a row EMOM, things like that. And it's funny too. Like our friend Michael Connor will say stuff like that. Because I was doing a lot of cardio just to kind of do cardio. It's like, well, dude, not all cardio is created equally. Yeah. Like for strongman, you want to shock the heart and and I'm paraphrasing, Mike, but you want, and they get the quick recovery. Whereas if I'm just jump roping for 30 minutes, I'm just working on aerobic conditioning,
Yeah, and you're working on different pathways at that point. You go from anaerobic to aerobic, and it goes from being conducive to strongman to, well, if you're not like a distance runner, then it doesn't really matter if you can go for 30 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Like we want to be using the ATP pathways. We want to be working on our glycogen disposal. We want to for lack of a better term, we want to be working the things that we're actually going to use.
Yeah. Makes sense. So what I should probably do is especially me, I'm 223, because we talked about, can I make the cuts? The water cuts aren't that bad if I'm responsible in the off season and I weigh between 210 and 215. Mm-hmm. But for me to stay there, probably similar to you, not 210, 250 for you, I assume. I have to basically kind of really watch what I eat year round. Not necessarily a diet, but I got to be cognizant of the foods I put in my body. So same thing, cardio, I got to have some cardio that's steady state to keep the fat down, but then the cardio that's really dedicated to strong.
So I am one of those people that can put on weight at a drop of a hat. Like if I ate to the point that my body was satiated, I could be 300 pounds by the end of this year, or by the end of 2026. But losing weight to go the other way is extremely difficult for me. So I have to be rigid on my diet year round. Because if the amount of effort that it takes to gain versus lose is just exponential.
Do you feel like, and my friend said this to me, because the one who talked me and Mike Ramirez into doing the 90 last year, because I was torn, because I was qualified for OSG too. I'm like, why don't I just bulk and bring my best? But when I bulk, dude, I become like a doughy 235, 240, right? And that's not what I need, right?
No.
And he said, dude, when you're dieting, even if it's just eating clean because you have a goal at the end of the year to make 90, you really are your best athlete. Like when you check the box of having to get up, prep your meals, make sure you're timed and all that stuff, getting all the nutrients, you tend to check all the boxes like sleep and recovery and training. Because training's the fun part. We all go to the gym and kill it, right? That's the fun part. The other stuff sucks. So you feel like the same way, like you're your best athlete when you're on your diet?
Well, if you put the effort in, to make sure that you're meal prepping and you're hitting all the boxes when you're in nutrition, you're more likely going to put a little extra into recovery. And you're going to get your sleep right. And then when it comes to training, you're going to be like, well, I put in all this work this week just to get to this point. I'm not skipping that set. I'm going to go and I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to, I'm going to do better just because I've already put in so much work. Like the sunk cost of it, I'm not just going to abandon all the work I've done the rest of the week because I don't feel like doing a third set right now.
Yeah, when Nico puts something in the program, even if I hate it, it's like, well, this is what my coach wants to do. I have to hit it. And then, sometimes maybe you don't hit it all. But like for me, it's like, if I'm not dieting, if I'm not checking that box, I'm like, all right, well, you know what? I don't feel like going to the gym and doing 30 minutes of steady state. Dude, I could turn my laptop. I got a treadmill right next to me here and a bike here. But if I'm not dieting, I'm like, well, I'm not dieting. I'm not going to bother with this. Like I'm a guy that's either all in or coasting, which is weird, but
yeah,
it's human nature, right?
I like I like having firm goals, and they don't have to be like hard. Like I just have to be like I can't, say I wanted to hit 12K steps a day. I can't stop at 11.5 today and be like, that's close enough. Because then tomorrow I'm going to stop at 11. I will have to pace around my house and get it over 12 to make sure that, okay, I checked the box today. And then tomorrow it's like, well, I did it yesterday. Why can't I do it today?
Yeah.
You know what
Yep. All right, man. Well, I got one more question
I mean? Okay.
From Tyler Purdue. He wants to know if you're going to keep squats in the program.
The squats have not left the program, and they won't leave the program at all. Yeah, they need to be there, but I'm hoping they won't be at PSL.
Was it the weight? Because you zeroed the squat, right? For those who don't know.
Yeah,
Was
no.
it the weight, or did you hit the pads unevenly or something?
Honestly, it's because I'm a burrito. Like there's no other things. I'm just a dumb. Like I did the one cardinal sin that you should never do. I changed my game plan based on another athlete.
Ah.
So I went into there. I was gonna do somewhere in the area of like 3 to 5 reps. Like that was my game plan. That's what I was gonna do. I warmed up. I did 1 rep at 620 while I was waiting, and I had the luxury of going last. So I was sitting there watching everybody doing warm ups, and then I saw Alec go, and he absolutely crushed it. He did like I don't know, like 12 or 14. I can't remember. It was a lot, and I kind of figured it was going to be me and him all day long. So I'm like, okay, I didn't get near as many points on him on the axle as I thought I was going to, so I need to get a few more points on the squat than I was planning on originally to kind of keep it closer, keep the battle a little closer. So I'm like, I bounce it off the pad. Maybe instead of 5, I can get 10. Well, those pads didn't bounce.
Yeah.
So I dropped down, and when I was expecting a rebound, I just sunk. And then like from there, it was long.
And then you toast. Yeah, you should have saved that for like reps 5 or 6 or 7 if you thought it was going to bounce.
Like literally, I should have did like 1 or 2 at least, and then I got points on the board, and then went for it. But I'm like, I'll just bounce them all, and then I'll be able to do double because I thought that's how.
And
like,
that's for something that's not that much in strongman as far as events. That's a heavy squat, and like for guys to hit 10 plus like Hein and Alec, that's pretty incredible. But there was 30 guys in the field. If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember the score sheet, but like didn't like 10 or 12 guys zero? So like if you got 1 rep, you would have got like 12 more points, right?
So I don't know how many zeroed it makes it, but if I would have got 1 rep, it would have been 11 points. So I assume 11 people zero.
And if I remember right, you didn't lose the whole show by 11 points, right?
It was like a half a point.
Yeah, so you gotta get that rep this year, my man. Vengeance.
Yeah.
Nico, so keep squats in this man's program.
So yeah, that was literally me doing the cardinal sin of changing my game plan during the show, and like that's where it comes down to having a good coach that you can like bounce it off of, and you can just do like you can be like, no, that's dumb. Don't do that.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's pretty much it. I got one more thing I'll say, and then I'll turn it over to you to like hype your coaching or sponsor anything. One thing I'm finding with the common thread in these interviews with like champions like yourself, you guys are all very humble, right? Like you said earlier in the pod that a 10 event show, you're not going to win any events, but like if you can be consistent and stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, you won 5 events at Virginia Beach last year, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So yeah, you're very, very humble. You're a very humble guy. And it doesn't get people notice stuff like that. So I appreciate you coming on. Do you want to talk real quick about like your coaching, or do you have any sponsors you'd like to plug, anything like that?
So like as far as sponsors, it's Notorious Lifts is the sponsor I have, and like if you haven't checked them out, go to my Instagram. In my bio, there's a link. Use that link and check them out. They are a great lifting shoe. Like I went from doing everything barefoot till I got them to like now I have like I probably have like 9 pairs of lifting shoes. So like it went from like nothing to a problem real quick.
Yeah, they're fantastic. We got them for free too at the show, and Unfortunately, there was a mix up with my size. It was a little too big, so I gave them to our teammate Nez, and I bought a pair. So I like actually out of my own money just bought a pair. I like them so much. I only wear them in the gym. Like usually, I'll wear shoes to the gym. I keep them in my gym bag and only wear them when I'm lifting. They're nice shoes.
Yeah, they are.
Yep. Anything else? Just notorious for you.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, just enjoy.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on, dude. I look forward to watching you. Obviously, we're in the team chat. Hopefully, I can push you on the cardio. Give me a few months for that. And maybe when the Virginia Beach show gets closer, after I hype up all these qualifier athletes in the European shows, I'd love to have you back on and talk about your prep for Virginia Beach, because I'm going to be there on the microphone calling your lifts, man. And I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, you bring the wife and the daughter. They were awesome at the show.
Oh yeah, yeah, they'll be there. They don't miss a thing.
Dude, that reminds me, bro. Dude, at OSG, I forget what event it was, but you were going. We're gonna hype you up, right? The crowd was kind of dead, and I started the "Let's Go Brandon" chant, and it's an iconic chant for other reasons. And we're in Texas, like the reddest state there is. Although I guess Dallas isn't. Dallas is very democratic. Whatever side, liberal, whatever side you lean on is fine. We don't judge here on this podcast or whatever I want to call this. But I started the chant, got a few people into it, and then it died down. I was like, "What's with you people? Aren't we in Dallas? Are we in Texas?" But your wife and daughter came over and said, "Dude, that was awesome. Like, we love that." And they were chanting. Your daughter is like the loudest person in the room. It was awesome watching her cheer.
Oh, yeah. She really gets into it. I've got a few videos of her. I got one of the steeplechase. It starts out zoomed in on me. The sandstone goes over, and then like you can hear her cheering real hard, and like you just see everything pan over. And by the end of the video, it's just fully on Steven, and like she doesn't even know, because she's just paying attention to the run and she's not paying attention to what she's filming at all.
Yeah, so I noticed that because like I was near them and I got a different vantage point. I filmed all your lifts for you, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do. A lot of people when they film, they'll have the camera, but they'll be watching, right? And the camera does this. So I was like, dude, she's super excited. Let me try and get you some good videos as a teammate. Hopefully you like those. But hopefully we see her in Virginia Beach. I'll absolutely put her on the microphone when you're going.
She'll be there.
A little extra love. So thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
All right, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Take care.